Hello, wonderful person. This is Philip, and today I want to share something that I'm very enthusiastic about, and that is how to improve one's eyesight, how to improve your vision. The fun thing about this is that it's absolutely free. It doesn't take all that much time, and it's a permanent improvement. Actually, the scientific study that was done showed that those people who did it because they had gotten farsighted in their older age improved their vision to the point where they could read just as well as they were able to read before doing the exercises when they were 10 years younger. In other words, it takes 10 years off your eyes when it just comes to not needing reading glasses. However, that's not all, because these exercises don't change anything about your eye. That study actually looked into it and found that nothing changes about the lens, about the retina, everything in the eye stays the same. The study showed that the effect happens exclusively in the brain. Your brain learns to interpret a low quality image, a blurry image, much better than ever before. That's why you see better after doing these exercises for a few weeks. Now, this means that whether you have astigmatism or are nearsighted or farsighted, if your prescription is relatively mild, you may be able to totally get rid of your glasses just by doing some exercises for a month. Well, I personally tried this out, and I have to say it definitely works. I am 43 years old now, which means I'm starting to notice that it's kind of hard for me to read really close up like this. It's not a problem yet. I haven't really considered getting reading glasses yet, but I started noticing it earlier, well, about a half a year ago. I thought to myself back then, why not start early? Maybe there is something that can be done about it. That's why I researched this and I found out this information. What I'm talking about is something called Gabor patches. Doesn't really matter all that much. The only time it will matter is if the app that I'm going to link to should go away, if it shouldn't exist anymore in the future, just look for something that uses Gabor patches. There is an app that you pay for. I think it's $30. I'm just not sure if it's $30 a month or $30 a year or whatever it is. I'm not even sure it's $30, but it's something like that. A paid for app that actually had that scientific study done proving that it works. And then there's a free app, which I of course used because I don't like to spend money unnecessarily. And the free app, from what I can tell, works pretty much just as well. It's different. It's a different app. The main difficulty with the free version of the app, it's called Extreme Eye Exercise. That's just the name of it. And you can play it through any browser. So you can play it on your laptop, on your phone, on your tablet, just by going through that to that website on your browser. I'll put a link in the description. So as long as that website stays up, you can do the exercises there for free. Anyway, the only problem with it is people sometimes have a hard time understanding how to play the game because the exercises are in the form of a game, and I believe it's a game very similar to Candy Crush Saga, but myself, I've never played any of those games. So first of all, I'm not sure what exactly the game is that would be the most similar to this one. And more importantly, I wasn't sure how to play the game in the beginning, and I read some negative reviews of that app that also say it may work, but I can't get it to work because I just can't figure out how to play the game. So let me fill in this gap for you. In case you don't know how to play a game like that, it's a match 3 type game. So you'll have little shapes, the so-called Gabor patches, don't worry about that, it'll just be little shapes that are arranged in a grid in front of you. And the goal is to get 3 identical shapes right next to each other. Whenever you get 3 right next to each other, they disappear and things drop down and you basically gain a little bit of time. So it's just a fairly simple game like that. But you have to understand that the goal is to get 3 identical shapes, 3 that look exactly the same, right next to each other, either horizontally, left to right, or vertically, like this. They have to be lined up. And there's only one type of move that you can do in the game. All you can do is swap out any given piece with a piece that's sitting right next to it, either to the right, to the left, up or down. The way you do that is you click or swipe on one of the little items and just drag it onto a neighboring piece. That will cause the two to swap, to switch places for a split second. If this change makes it so that you have 3 in a row now, those 3 will disappear and basically that's how you play the game. That's what it's all about. But if they don't match exactly, if for example you looked at it wrong and two of the three are the same, but the third one is slightly different, say slightly narrower, for example, or slightly wider, then there won't be a match, and the two pieces you just swapped out will swap back. So you can literally only make a move if it actually gets three in a row right away. And you can make these moves either vertically like this, so swap a piece with the one above or below it, or left to right, horizontally. That's it. That's how you play the game. Now, I should probably also mention that in the game you can select different settings. You can make the pieces, the patches that you see, bigger or smaller. I don't think that makes much of a difference, but I personally prefer the biggest size. It's just more fun to play that way, and it hasn't hurt my progress. So if you want to do that, go ahead. If you prefer the smaller size, why not? But then there is the contrast setting, and I did some research and I figured from my research that these exercises like these, work the best when the contrast is very low, when it's very hard to even see the shapes. So I didn't select the stark contrast, the black and white, I didn't select the red, the green, or the blue that this app offers, but I tapped the color/contrast setting until it was all a very bland and light shade of gray. In other words, the lowest possible contrast setting to make it more challenging for my eyes. Well, and I'm happy to report that after playing for about a month and a half every day, and I have to admit I did exceed the recommended 20 minutes per day, I would estimate that I probably played for about 45 minutes a day on average for about 6 weeks. After that, my vision had improved so dramatically that I actually stopped using this app. I haven't played since, but the improvement in vision has stayed. For me, because my presbyopia, basically my reading problem, hadn't actually manifested yet. I was still able to read comfortably without glasses anyway. This is not the biggest change. I do notice the change. I can look up at text more closely now and still see it. But the biggest change that I notice is actually in the distance. When there is, for example, a parking sign that says no parking except Monday through Thursday if it's not a holiday, and there is no alternating snow day and whatever, all that stuff on the parking signs, I can read even farther away now than I used to be able to read. So disclaimer, my eyesight has always been very good, but I still did the eye exercise because I noticed it deteriorating with age. And I honestly feel like even close up, I see about as well as I did 10 years ago, and at a distance I see better than ever before. So this might work for you, whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism. Just try it. The point is, it teaches your brain to see more efficiently and more effectively. So I hope you give it a try. It doesn't cost you any money. It's a little bit of a time investment to sit there and play this game for 20 minutes, but you may actually find it fun for the first few weeks like I did. So it might not be the biggest problem in the world to play a stupid computer game, even if it does nothing for you, but I bet it will do the same thing for you that it did for almost all the study participants and that it did for me, which is dramatically improve your eyesight. Thanks for watching. If you find this video useful, please leave a comment, like it, give it a thumbs up. You can even subscribe to my channel. I do all kinds of things related to health and happiness and other things such as cursive handwriting. Anyway, have a good day.